Good morning, Divine Feminine. It's Sunday, and it is our Karmic Partner reading day, okay? So we're going to look at your Divine Masculine, and if your Divine Masculine has a Karmic Partner, what's going on in that relationship, what kind of insight can we gain, and the karmic partner can be a wife, it can be an ex-wife, it can be a girlfriend or a boyfriend, an ex-husband, or a husband. Again, this isn't about gender. I think you guys know that at this point. Divine Masculine is about the energy. It's about the polarity between the twin flames. There's a Divine Masculine and a Divine Feminine, but it is not about gender. Okay, so I actually sometimes prefer to use positive polarity and negative polarity when I'm talking about it. But there's a history as to why it's called masculine and feminine energy. It's the blueprint of life, as you know. And those two energies are in all things. It's what makes duality, or the universe that we live in, which is duality, at least in the 3D, possible. It's the building blocks and the foundation of the reality that you are experiencing right now. So these energies are in everything. Your Divine Masculine and your twin flame dynamic could be male or female, because in the twin flame dynamic, it has nothing to do with gender. So it's just a quick little explanation. You can definitely get more information about that online, or in our group calls, in our one-on-ones, and in our course that we are developing. We'll have a lot of information in there about that. But we're going to take a look today at what's going on with your Divine Masculine and their karmic relationship. They could have a karmic that's kind of in and out. Even if they're single, there could be this karmic that's kind of sort of there in the background, sort of, interacting with and influencing your Divine Masculine. So there's many ways that the karmic partner can show up. Not one set way. And almost everyone's Divine Masculine has some kind of karmic partnership going on. That's just kind of almost always the case. So, all right, so this first card is your Divine Masculine's energy, okay? And for this, we have a Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So your Divine Masculine feels like things are out of control for them. They most definitely feel like they've been stuck in a rut for quite a long time, and they're not happy with their current circumstances at all. They feel like they're kind of in a feeling of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't understand that things are not luck. Okay, so they feel like they have bad luck. That's what it is. They feel this feeling of like things are not going the way I want. I'm so unlucky. But it's not really that they're unlucky. It's more that they're not resonating with what they actually want. The undercurrent, the frequency within them, the signal that they're putting out to the universe is in conflict with their desired outcome. So they're getting the opposite of what they want, but they don't understand those kinds of things, especially our Divine Masculines. They just don't understand that stuff. They don't even really have an interest in learning it or going within to figure these things out. So they do seem like they are bound by the ways of the world, but it's only because they don't really understand how the ways of the world work. This is definitely, at least in twin flame dynamic, something that is more geared toward the Divine Feminine. It's the Divine Feminine that goes through the awakening and starts to understand these laws of the universe and how they work and their relationship as a soul to these laws of the universe, which creates the avenue or the ascension toward reality creation, conscious reality creation. But your Divine Masculine doesn't have that, so they feel very much bound by these circumstances and events in their life, and oftentimes that leads them to feeling very bound in the relationships that they're in. They can sometimes feel very, very trapped, and so they feel trapped. They don't feel like things are going their way. They feel powerless to change things, and then they feel stuck. And sometimes that really can weigh heavily on your divine masculine, because they're not living their life to the fullest. They feel like the world is happening to them, not for them, and they don't feel like, changing is even an option. They don't recognize that what's happening outside of them is a reflection of what's going on inside of them. So sometimes changes for them can feel like they just take forever to manifest, because they keep doing patterns of action toward outcomes that they don't want, but they don't think that that's what they're doing. So it's like a salmon swimming upstream. They're not getting anywhere. It's like they're stuck in place. Now, this next card is going to be their karmic, and what's going on with their karmic, and the energy or motivations behind the karmic. Okay, and for this card, we have the devil in reverse. So with the devil in reverse for the karmic, that's an interesting card to come up here. We've got, sometimes when the devil is in reverse, it's a little bit more of a positive, energy, which is good. But, the devil in either way, whether it's upright or in reverse, it points toward either a current period of time or a past period of time. I guess possibly if you were putting it in the position of a future. But in this situation, I think it's present and past. That there's been addiction, that there has been codependency, that there's been, because if it was this way, it would mean that they have been dealing with, they are currently dealing with addiction, greed, being extremely materialistic, obsession toward unhealthy things, lower vibrational stuff, even, like sexual perversions and lust and things like that, right? Very base, lower chakra energies. Sometimes it could be even just being stuck in survival mode. But right now we're looking at it in the reverse, which I would say that their karmic partner isn't necessarily in that place anymore, but they were. So this karmic partner probably dealt with addiction, it could be addiction to substances. It could have been addictions to certain kinds of obsessive mindsets from trauma that they had experienced, that were having a negative impact on their life and therefore on your divine masculine. It could be that they have like really bad abandonment issues, and in your divine masculine, it's kind of their drug of choice. So they're codependent on your divine masculine and really needing them for validation, in an unhealthy kind of toxic way. But what this shows is that with this showing up in the reverse, it means that a lot of recovery has taken place in their karmic partner. They've actually done some self-work to improve, even if it doesn't necessarily seem that way from an outside party looking in, which would be you. Maybe their divine masculine hasn't even seen that, but the circumstances of their life, the way that things have gone, the introspection that they have had on why they are the way they are and who they are, it's actually having a positive impact on them. The interesting thing about that is that they might be wanting to leave behind maybe even the relationship with your divine masculine. Like, I think that this karmic person is really questioning whether or not they want to be in the relationship with your divine masculine anymore. There's been a lot of toxic back and forth between the two of them. And I think the karmic partner, as they're starting to get a little bit healthier, they are just kind of wanting to move on and find something healthier. It's like there's too much that's happened for them to really be able to let go. You probably heard the saying before that you can't get healthy in the environment that made you unhealthy. I think that's kind of where they're at this stage. They're feeling like they just can't get healthy in this relationship. And so they're contemplating, or maybe have even already started to take action toward leaving your divine masculine. If they haven't already started to take action, I don't think this is something that your divine masculine is unaware of either. I think that your divine masculine kind of knows that the relationship is headed in this direction. Like they can kind of see that the writing is on the wall. And maybe that's part of why they're feeling some of the, low energies that they're feeling, because, breakups, even if they're for the right reasons, are not always easy to do. There could be, if they're a husband or a wife, there could be children involved that make the situation a lot more complicated and difficult to deal with. And they may start feeling feelings of kind of clinging to this. But I can tell just from the energy of this card that the karmic is pretty much done with the relationship. They've already done some personal resolution as far as like kind of looking at things. So healing has already started to take place in the karmic, and they're not really resonating with each other anymore. And so this may be like a shock, or like, even though they may kind of expect it, they may be hoping that it's not going to happen, but the karmic's kind of already made up their mind that this isn't the relationship that's meant to be forever. We see things as divine feminines from a higher perspective, and we know that there's more to it than that. This is just what's playing out in the 3D. But the situation that is taking place is definitely for a higher purpose and a higher reason. Things change when we meet our divine masculine. They change for us. All kinds of things fall out of our life that no longer resonate with us because our frequency starts to elevate. And there is a huge ripple effect to that. And so the same thing's happening with your divine masculine, but that's also transferring into their karmic. I also, in some ways, wouldn't be surprised on some level if their karmic has actually met their own twin flame. Like, I'm getting a strong energy that maybe your divine masculine's karmic has met their twin flame. And whether they're the masculine or the feminine in that dynamic, they're going to go through an ascension as well. And the way that this card is indicating that there is like this lifting up of the energy in this person, I'm feeling strongly that they've potentially met their own twin flame somehow or another, and are trying to work through whatever's going on with them when it comes to that. So I think they've met their twin, and they're in a whole other place right now. and that might be leaving your divine masculine with some confusion, like, well, what's going on, and why did this happen, and why is everything kind of falling apart? Because that's the energy I get from them, like, what the heck is going on? Everything's falling apart. Why is this all happening? And I feel that they have clarity on why it's happening. They've really been able to kind of level themselves up. Really, it's just the right thing. It's not meant to be forever. There's lessons that were learned. Karmics come into our life for valuable and important reasons. They're the karmic to each other. But your divine masculines met their twin, and I believe that for many of you, not necessarily all of you, it may not be because they've met their twin, but I am getting a strong energy from that they have. That's interesting. I've never had that come up in a reading before. I've done hundreds of readings. I've never had that come up. So something's going on. I do know right now that more and more and more people are meeting their twin flames. It's just a phenomenon that's like spreading. And I know it has a lot to do with New Earth and the fact that the whole entire, Earth is elevating. Awakenings are happening all over the place. And for those that are going through awakenings where they haven't met their twin flame, it's entirely possible that they have, but they're the divine masculine and they don't realize why they're going through this awakening process, but they just are. So I think that's really interesting that came out in the reading today, you guys. Okay, so this next card is your relationship with your divine masculine. Okay, and what's going on from their perspective, how this is affecting their karmic situation. So we have 5 of Swords. So you are someone who has come in and disrupted what was kind of an abusive relationship with your divine masculine and their karmic. You came in and kind of like pierced the veil of what was going on because of your energy. You made a major, like you were like a major catalyst in what's going on right here. And of course your divine masculine was a major catalyst for you. That's what happens when we meet our twin flame. You kind of brought this energy into their field, and it automatically changed the dynamic because it woke your divine masculine up to a lot of the things that they were not happy with. And so they started acting and behaving a little bit differently, which then, of course, through the ripple effect, started to make their karmic act and behave differently. They started to see things differently. And if they've met their twin flame, like I suspect that they have, then that's just going to add like double to that energy. Everything happens in divine timing and for divine reason. There's purpose in all of it. And the timing of you meeting your twin flame and the sequence of events that have taken place afterward, even though your mind might try to, resist it or, like take issue with it, like as if it wasn't supposed to happen that way. It all is happening the way that it's meant to, because it's all designed to cause you to ascend and to wake up divine feminine, as well as your divine masculine. So you were a giant catalyst that came in and disrupted this relationship. But it's not for like nefarious reasons, as you know. It doesn't mean that all karmic relationships end as a result of meeting your twin flame. If you're meant to be with your twin flame in this lifetime, you will be with your twin flame in this lifetime in a 3D sense. Okay? But you have to allow this journey to just play itself out for you. Okay? Let it happen. This is the one relationship where taking action to try to do it from the level of the mind will only backfire on you, because this relationship is geared 100% toward causing you to transcend the mind into those higher dimensions of the 4th and the 5th dimension. Okay, and the mind is part of the 3D. So taking action from logic and analysis of the mind is only going to create more resistance. This is a journey of allowing and being, because you're tapping into those true higher frequencies that actually really are the genesis of all creation. So you're really causing a huge change to take place, just like they have caused a huge change to take place within you. It's just not going to look the same because it's 2 different timelines, 2 different stories, right? So, you guys, if you like this reading, please hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate you doing that. It really helps our channel to grow and for us to reach more people with our message. We also have tarot readings and one-on-ones as well as group calls available in the description box below if you guys are interested in having questions answered, getting more information either through a reading or through a one-on-one or even group calls. If you want to feel better, the group calls are the way to go, you guys. They're amazing. It's an amazing group of people, and we talk about everything in there. So you can ask questions and get answers like so quickly. We do them twice on Monday and twice on Wednesdays. So go check those out in the description box below if you're interested, okay? So this next card is the past. Okay, we're going to look a little into the past, okay? The Fool is what comes up. So when you and your divine masculine met, I would say that this is the card that the two of you felt. This was the initial stages of embarking on the journey, okay? And so the Fool is always fresh hope, taking chances, new paths, adventures, new beginnings, things like that, right? That is like the bubble love phase that you go into when you meet your twin. It's like this beautiful like ray of sunshine just like comes into your life, and it feels so amazing, and both of you are just so drawn into the energy of what this is. And it really is the first, it's the caterpillar going into the chrysalis. Your life prior to meeting each other, you were the caterpillar and they were too. You meet and you go into the chrysalis, right? And that's where transformation takes place. And so this is the entering into the chrysalis phase. And it's the waking up. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing things through a fresh perspective, new lens. There's hope there. There's something better. I didn't realize it. Like opens you up to new possibilities, things you didn't even aware of, feelings you didn't even know you could have, and a connection that you didn't even know could exist. And then, you know, when a caterpillar goes into the chrysalis and it has to break down to transform to become something new, it liquefies, which means everything that it once was falls away, which is what we see happening here, right? And the same thing, I'm sure, on some level is happening for you, Divine Feminine. But the process can be painful. I don't know what it's like for an actual caterpillar and if there's things in place for it to not be horribly painful, but I imagine on some level it's like death, which is like what the ego death is for us, which is why it's such a great analogy or like metaphorical story that can be told in order to help us understand our own transformations in this lifetime, especially once we meet our twin flame, when we go through this Kundalini awakening and ascension process. So, you know, it can be quite painful, but what you emerge out of on the other side is like this transformed being that is capable of flying and seeing things from an elevated perspective, not just from a lower ground view. And your whole life changes. You got superpowers. Literally. I'm sure a caterpillar would look at a butterfly and be like, oh, they've got superpowers. They're like Superman or Superwoman. They can fly. They can do all these things, right? That the caterpillar can't do. Little does the caterpillar know, eventually at some point in time, they'll be able to do it too, right? Everything that made up the caterpillar to make it what it was is the exact same stuff that makes the butterfly. Nothing was added or removed. It was just transformed. You may feel like the same person in some ways, like as far as the way you look, the way you go to work, you're living in the same house, you're doing the same stuff, but you won't feel like the same person from the inside. You will know that a complete transformation has been taking place, and you're already seeing the effects of that. And so is your divine masculine. And just like you going through the dark night of the soul and having these painful things that happen, and you know, this painful process that feels like absolute torture, your divine masculine experiences that in a whole different way. It's a falling down and a breaking down of their life, their perceptions, you know. It's quite amazing, honestly. So that's the past. You're the transformational phase that you guys have been going into. And I would say you're still in the cocoon phase, right? you're here, you're watching these videos, you're still learning and figuring things out. You're still going through the transformation. And eventually the walls of that cocoon are going to start to break down. It's like the walls of the veil start to break down, and you start to emerge in you know, and you start to know what you are, right? You guys, it's a gift, even though it's crazy painful in some parts. So we're going to look now at possible outcomes, okay? I'm going to look at possible outcome for you and your divine masculine. All right. King of Cups. This is such a beautiful card. I love it. Look at it. You can see that it's like the ascension process right here. It's got the curves going up, the, you know, caduceus. It's like the snake traveling up the spine. It's the kundalini. It's the ascension process, the higher levels of heaven and the lower levels of, you know, base lower energy, which would be, you know, hell, right? That's kind of the representation, it's the process that we go through. This would be like Middle Earth or Midgard, right? And as you move up these levels, you know, you're getting up here to the higher, more celestial levels of consciousness, away from the lower nature of the carnal mind, you know, the lower density frequencies into these higher frequencies. It's a process that we all go through. So what a beautiful card that is. Okay, so with this card, we have for future. Your divine masculine and you see each other as kind of like a unicorn. You know, that person that is a needle in the haystack that you're so lucky to find. And with that, a lot of fear can be invoked in the beginning. And of course, that's because you go into this bubble of phase, and then you have to go through, you know, the breaking down of everything. And so it causes all the fear to rise up to the surface, and it has to be looked at. We can't spiritually bypass it. We have to look at all of those things and you know, bring the shadows into the light and transmute that into those higher frequencies up here, right? We have to bring that and elevate ourselves through that. And this process that you and your divine masculine are leading you to that, to these higher realms of consciousness, to an elevated perspective, you know, to be the butterfly flying in these higher heights up here, looking down at what was once the caterpillar. It's a really, that is the purpose of meeting your twin flame. It really truly is. It's the ascension. It's the spiritual awakening. That's why trusting your journey, making your journey your number one goal, that should be your bullseye. Okay, that should be your bullseye. If you look at this is just another representation in the blueprint of the two energies of where we see this primordial spiral, right? The Fibonacci spiral here, or the golden ratio, which I like more than the Fibonacci. I have a lot of beliefs about the different timelines and the spirals that we see manifesting, and some of them are lower frequency and some of them are higher, infinite frequencies. But that is the process. You guys are tuning into those higher levels that are taking you to these newer dimension, or these higher dimensions of consciousness, the fourth and the fifth D, right? So that's the purpose of it all, you guys. That's the reason that you guys have met. That is an inevitable outcome for you. And in the reading yesterday, I talked a little bit about that. You guys can't mess it up. Your mind will try to tell you that you can mess it up and that you're doing it all wrong and that you're not doing it fast enough. But this again is not, that's the stuff we have to overcome, is the thoughts that are based in that lower vibrational frequency down here. And we're transcending that and into the wisdom of the soul, the eternal soul, the divine self, the truth of who you really are. All right. The royal you. The royal you. Wow. Let's see this card here. I've never pulled this card, so this will be fun to read. The royal you. Do you know what it means to express personal sovereignty in your life? It's about how you hold to your inner self. I'm sorry, let me read this again. It's about how you hold to your inner sense of worth and integrity, securing your belief that you have a unique purpose. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are, and that nothing outside you can challenge your authentic self, the hard-won seat of awareness that you have earned, Divine Feminine. You are the ruler of your mind. Could that be more appropriate for what we're talking about right now? You are the ruler of your mind. And you're being invited now to consider what discipline you need to apply to your thoughts. Are they consistent with the values and beauty you intend for your life? It is important now to keep your focus on what is right and good for you as well as others. Challenges in your life at this time, no matter how large or small, must be met with a measured response. If life sends you a challenge, can you speak up and set boundaries with grace and surety? Calm, intelligent leadership is called for now. Sovereigns know when to plan their battles, so stay out of unnecessary skirmishes and strategically wield your personal power. Now is the time to lead from the heart, from your authenticity and integrity. Hold your head high and know your worth. That is the mark of a true sovereign. This is a sovereign. Self-actualization and stepping into your power, which is your birthright, which is your true self. Shedding the illusions that make you think you are not that which you have been seeking, or that you are not already that which you have been seeking. So key concepts for this: sovereignty, responsibility, self-confidence, self-rule, ownership of your feelings and actions, a quiet sense of empowerment, being self-aware, not allowing outside influences out of alignment with your truth. That is the purpose of this entire journey, you guys, in this card. It's what your divine masculine is waking up to. It's what you've been waking up to. And it's leading you to the most beautiful experience that you as a soul could hope to attain. So embrace and trust your journey, Divine Feminine. Thank you so much for being here with me today and listening to the reading. Oh, let me get you guys a number really quick. 3 and 2, or 23 and 32, or 5 is your numbers for today. And again, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.